Would you rather be a billionaire and stressed and working all the time? Or would you rather be worth $100 million and fucking love what you do? I want you to prioritize the excitement that you're feeling about an idea and a project more than the logical justification of whether or not it can compete. I want you, for the next 2 weeks until we meet again, to give yourself permission to not do anything with the idea.
So I think my question for you both today is, this is not an old story for me. Justice has heard this, but I have so many ideas that it's hard for me to like funnel them down. And I mean, I've got 3 or 4 notebooks here on my desk, and these are not all like, yeah, some of the time I'm high and drunk and I have some weird ideas, but a lot of the time I'll go look at those sober. I'm like, that's still a good idea. Like, yep. I like that one. Some of them you tear out and you're like, no. But so I'm trying to like, follow that like you were saying in the call. Oh, did Ryan just freeze?
He did. Ryan, can you hear us?
I can hear you fine, but I got that too.
Okay. Well, so you're talking on the call today. Are you the visionary or the operator? And I've been really trying to figure that out, because
you're the visionary.
And I can do the operator part, but I usually don't follow it through all the way. I get frustrated. I have more fun. I get more energy from that.
You're a learned operator, but you're a natural visionary.
Okay, that's good to hear. I think that's maybe my question is like, help me figure out like, which camp I should be focusing on or playing in, because that might help me figure out who else I need in my life to like.
This will help you figure it out. You don't have to do anything with this. Just on paper, marry one of your ideas. Okay. You don't have to do anything with it. Just pick one and date it for a while.
Okay.
And you'll see what your natural tendencies are that are coming up. So are you thinking about what the product is going to look like? Are you thinking about the product line that it's going to be? Are you thinking about the partnerships that you would bring in with one of these? Instead of getting drunk and high and making new ideas, come up with ideas that complement that one idea that you're dating for a while. That will help you kind of carve the path for that and decide you want to stay in visionary seat, or if you want to actually go and operate this thing. That will help you do this. And I think it's a great thing to be a natural visionary and a learned operator. That gives you a very unique skill set to be able to take this thing to the $1 million mark if you allow yourself to pick one and just go build it. They're probably all good ideas, and you can do all of them, just not at the same time.
Yeah, and I've been working on that. Can I give you an example to see
yes.
if you know how you would think about it?
Sure.
So one of my niches that I've built over the years is fly fishing, and so I have a blog that I built up. It's getting about 7,000 visitors a month. I did very little of the writing. I really don't like the writing part, so I figured out outsource that. And I lost interest pretty quickly. It's a sport that I like, but the more energy and time it took from me to like keep this niche website rolling, the less interested I got. That's kind of a separate thing. I just wanted to like paint the picture. So what I am excited about, I have 2 things, right? Like lots of products to go into with fly fishing. There's a ton of space in Amazon, or off Amazon. One of the things that I get stuck with is, everyone's already had the good ideas. Shoot, I don't know how I can compete with that company. They're already doing the best version of that I could see. A really good thing is there's expendable product. It's flies, like the lures. Mm-hmm. People go through them. So they need subscriptions to these things. So there's some great little businesses that have popped up that people just constantly need more flies. And there's so many of those that I'm like, well, that's kind of, I feel like that's flooded. So maybe I don't do that product. And then, so there's all these products. And then I've got, so that's just an idea that like, I get stuck on, do I want to do a product for that niche, or do I want to do a software solution? One of the biggest challenges is knowing the names of the flies and which river they're going to work on. So, you'll have a fly box, you have a box of flies.
So Tim, I want to answer your question. So first, I'm going to ask you a silly question.
Okay.
Would you rather be a billionaire and stressed and working all the time, or would you rather be worth $100 million and fucking love what you do?
The second one, definitely. I get that. Yeah.
Because you're rich in either one, right?
Yeah. Oh, I would
Right.
love to have a 1% of a $1 billion company than 100% of a
Awesome.
$1 million, trillion.
Now, hold on. You just said something very different. So 1% of a $1 billion company, that's $10 million, but that's $1 billion company.
Okay.
Would you rather have a $1 billion company and be stressed, or would you rather have a $100 million company and fucking love it?
My goal is no stress. I'm going for time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So this is what's happening with you. You're saying, ooh, that's a good idea. I would really like that, and I'd really love to do that. But $1 billion company already has that. Fine, let them be $1 billion company. Go build a multi-million-dollar company.
Mm-hmm.
You can absolutely build a multi-million-dollar company in a space that's dominated by $1 billion companies.
With some of the same, like, improved but similar products?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
So don't be intimidated by that. If it seems flooded, you're saying?
I want you to think about this differently. I want you to prioritize the excitement that you're feeling about an idea and a project more than the logical justification of whether or not it can compete.
Okay.
Now, the reason for that, I know that sounds airy-fairy. There's a very tactical, practical reason for that. Because if you are excited about it, you will be able to innovate faster than the big $1 billion companies can. If you're excited about it, you will see new opportunities in the space and be more plugged into what the customer wants, so you can make those improvements to be able to get a product to 50 sales a day or 100 sales a day. And in a space that's already dominated by $1 billion players, that means the market is big enough for you to get that excitable base of people who will take you to that several hundred sales a day. So the excitement is a really good hack for you to dive deep into the process that you will enjoy and have a $10 million company that you really, really like and that you're really, really proud of, that one of the $1 billion companies will come in and buy for $25 million. So if you're being honest that you'd rather have a $100 million company that you freaking love, then the only thing you need to do is stop butting yourself. Wow, that's a really good idea, but somebody has already thought about it. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's a really good idea, but this $1 billion company is already doing it. Wow, there's a $100 million company, but it's saturated. Just don't butt yourself. I'm really excited about this idea, and I really want to do it.
Well, how do you narrow down, which idea? And I assume that you have lots of opportunities across your desk, lots of things that could be something that you pursue. Do you literally let your excitement and kind of alignment pick, or how do you? And is it clear for you? Like, is that something you can develop? Like, this is the most exciting thing versus this thing, or how do I do that? As something I'm still working on.
I have learned that I have to say no to most things. Mm-hmm. And just like the advice that I gave you last time, the more I say no, the more my price goes up. Mm-hmm. I was verbally in a deal earlier this week that I pumped the brakes on and decided I didn't have the capacity for it.
Yeah.
And now they're coming to me with concessions.
It's becoming a better deal.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll see how many concessions they make. Because the only concession I need is I want to do this and it be effortless for me.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I won't work. It just means that I have to be in the space that is effortless for me. What does that mean? I'm an amazing visionary. I'm a great networker. I'm a good promoter. And if I can do just those things, I'd love to be a part of this project. And yes, I can do those other pieces too. I just can't right now. So if you can plug those pieces, I'd love to do this deal. And leave it at that.
Are you, I mean, at your stage, people are coming to you, so you get to choose. But at my stage, I've got to, well, Justice looked at me sideways, so.
It's because you just butted yourself.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Well, this has a question. Should I be looking for those people? should I be looking for like, do I need to like find, because as a visionary, I'm not sure how to go to like that next thing. Even if I am excited, if I figure out what I'm most excited about, then I know that I'm probably not the operator. I mean, I can, but I don't have time for that. I don't have the energy, So,
what's your question?
That's where I'm getting a little stuck.
So what was your question?
Oh, just at what point do I, once I maybe focus on the thing that I'm most excited about, knowing that I'm probably not the operator, should I then try to approach and find some people that might be the operator? Or are we kind of back at like build it up, get a sale, and then worry about like all that, like I'm familiar with.
More the latter, but you're such a trained operator that your brain is going, ooh, excitement, must build list. You're like, ooh, spark. And you're like, oh, okay. Well, now bring this down. Let's make a long list of things that we need to do in order to make this. I want you for the next 2 weeks until we meet again to give yourself permission to not do anything with the idea. This is my very real assignment for you, Tim.
I wrote this down. Don't do anything.
Good. This is my very real assignment for you. In 2 weeks to come back on this call and to provide an update of you doing the following.
Okay.
Picking one of your ideas to date. You're going to go on a 14-day relationship with one of these ideas. I don't care which one. 14 days, you're going to pick an idea and you're going to date her. And dating is going to look like you only journal and brainstorm about this one. And you don't do anything. You don't do anything. You are in an exclusive relationship with this idea for 14 days.
Got it.
Now, you can call people and talk about it. You can post about it and get feedback. You can do that kind of stuff. You just can't do anything with it. I love the question that someone posted. How do I know if I want to marry her, though? You go on dates. You go on dates with her. That's how you know.
Okay, so just force myself to focus.
Hold on a second. Do you force yourself to go on dates with girls you like?
All right, no, that was
Or do you just go on dates with girls you like?
Sure, right.
I'm going to force myself to do things I enjoy.
No, not quite like that, but I'll have to turn off the interest in everything else, right? Like that will be the challenge.
You don't have to turn it off. It's more like you're only going to date this one for a while, right? You don't have to turn off interest in the other ideas. It's just that when you think about them, you're thinking about them to look for ideas about the one that you're just focused on right now.
Okay.
Look. This is, I'm gonna reach for it here. This is what I think is going on with you. Your whole life, you've been making lists and acting as an operator, and you don't want to do it anymore. And you want to have the vision and the product that excites you. But every time you do, your brain kicks in with the long list of things that needs to happen. And so you're stuck in this loop of that's a good idea, and you kill it in your brain because you think of all the hard work that your brain won't let you do because you're done being the long-term operator and list checker. Mm-hmm. And so you're stuck in this loop of that's a good idea, that's a good idea, that's a good idea, but your brain and your body won't let you go along with any of them because you don't want to be operator anymore.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Like that means you're ready to do something different. And so let your brain and your body not do anything for a while, which means I want you to just get excited about one idea with no other reason than to train yourself to stay in that state of excitement around an idea. Because as you stay in that zone for long enough, you'll get clear on the vision and the product line and the people that need to be in place. And then creative ideas will start to come to you that are like, oh, I remember that one person in the 1% who posted about that thing. I wonder if they might know somebody. And then you don't do anything with it except start building the excitement and the network and the ideas. And then a partnership shows up. And it's a perfect marriage because you didn't try and kill that person off by being operator.
Yep.
You stayed in the zone. Am I close?
Yeah, I think that's close. That sounded familiar. Yeah, it's like I can see that in myself, and I think I can see how I can do that. So you understand my challenge? I get inspired by a lot of things, so I'm gonna have to like tone down the things that inspire me on a daily basis. I need to kind of like stop reading a lot of things. I read a lot.
You don't need to tone down anything, Tim. You don't need to tone down any. I want you to let all the excitement out. But when you go to journal or work or think actively, I want you to put that focus and attention on the one idea that we're dating for the next 14 days.
Okay.
Go do all those things that excite you and bring you fulfillment, all of them. But when you're thinking about the one for you, pick one and just every day focus on that one. And I'm not saying don't think about others. Because if I tell you not to think of a pink elephant, you think of a pink elephant.
Right.
So think of all the.
Dang it! Lost him at the punchline.
That's it. That's his. He did that on purpose.
Yeah.
He wants you to fill it in.
I think I'm on track though.
Do you understand why the excitement piece is so important?
I'm trying to. I'm trying to. I need to figure out how I'm going to, because I'm equally excited about a lot of things. That's where it's hard for me to see how that's going to happen. And so I'm trying to feel how that's going to draw me into just one thing. But I'm open to it. I'm actively trying to hear him on that.
Are you okay with not knowing what the one thing is right now?
Yeah, that's just been my challenge. Is it might mean I'm not any further forward tomorrow because I haven't focused it.
What is the belief there?
I think the belief is that I don't trust myself fully that any of them are that good of an idea. You know, a few failures in the past, a few business lessons learned in the e-com world. So that, I think that's it. It's just a limiting belief that I have failed for a handful of times in the past as I've learned my way up to here.
Yeah. So you're projecting your past failures onto the future. And
Yep.
So you're trying not to make the mistake again. And so you're focused on a part of your mental capacity is focused on not making mistakes instead of winning.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, cool.
And I feel like I'm pretty close to like just putting the failures aside mentally.
Sure.
Once you choose it, it'll probably work out.
When you think about those failures in the past, what is your thought process around them? Is it regret? Is it like, how do you feel about those failures?
Yeah, it's mostly regret on the time and money input. I haven't done good with balancing time very well. I've tried to like brute force it. So 16, 17-hour days, are not uncommon, in my past, which is taken away from the family. I got a young kid who knows me on my computer, but I'm really determined to kind of make this thing work. So I think that's one of the regrets on in the past on the, chasing different business models. Is it Justice asked me like, what's one of my holdups, mental holdups. I think it's kind of the fear of failure is one of the things.
Understood.
I think for you, Tim, and this is why the excitement piece is so important. The fear of failure is keeping you from being able to be excited about something, and the excitement is actually what gives you the confidence that you're lacking right now. Like the energy from excitement will actually give you the confidence for moving something forward, even though you don't know if it's 100% a win. It'll give you the confidence to date an idea. Like, how many dates suck? But before, you're excited. So you go on a date and you're like, okay, this one worked, it didn't. But when you go on that date with that one, you go, oh, wow, this is way better than I thought.
Yeah.
You go on another date, and that excitement rolls on, even though you've failed at a million dates. And I think we need to change the language of your failure in the past to this was an awesome learning. Like it got me here. I appreciate those failures. They got me here. There's so much I know now, so that when I do land that amazing date, I'm going to move so much faster because of everything that I've learned.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind, because a few calls ago, Ryan had told me to kind of try on success just like a shirt, and that stuck with me as well, and that has helped a lot. Like, view those past experiences not as failures, and so as soon as I remember to do that, that definitely keeps me in that, like, that's how I've gotten to this kind of mental frame of, okay, time to just do it, not worry why it's not going to work, but just win, right? Like, just choose that win. So I'm getting there, but that's easier to say than do. But I'm a lot closer to that than I was months ago. The first time we talked. So working at it.
Great.
Thanks, guys. I think I've got notes and some homework, so I'll leave it at that for now.
Date an idea, Tim.
I like it.
Good
Appreciate
to see
your
you.
help. Yeah, appreciate your input.